What's up? What's up?
What's up?
How y'all doing?
Hope y'all are doing great today. We're doing great. We're having a good day.
That's what's up. I'm Pastor Hunter.
And I am Minister Arthur J.W.
Can I introduce you?
Absolutely.
Women. Yeah. So we are the
Hunters Talk.
Hunter Talk. And today we want to talk to you today, not at you.
That's right. And we want to make sure that you're engaged with the conversation. So today's topic is selfish spouses.
Now look, before we get started, let me tell you something. We got a chef in the house tonight. We got a live audience, and a chef is here. So if you hear some clicking and clanging and some frying and stuff like that, just know that's just the chef, okay?
Yes.
But she's doing her thing. I wish we could share some of the food with you. Hey, she is the world renowned. Say that real fast. World renowned.
World renowned.
I ain't asked you to speak yet. See, I tell you. Well, you heard it for yourself. Chef Ness is in the house.
Yes.
What's up, Chef?
Everything's fine.
Everything's fine.
Amen.
All right. Amen.
All is well.
Praise hallelujah. Let's get started. Selfish spouses.
Are you one?
Well, I've been told I am.
He is. And we'll get to that later in the broadcast.
We're going to argue that point because I don't think I am.
You know how we are. We like to make sure that we're painfully transparent to you so that you can learn from our relationships. For those of you who do not know and never has seen a live broadcast with the Hunters Talk, we love people, we love all things relationships, and we love God, and we love to see God thrive within marriages the way that it was designed to.
And we love you.
Yes, we love you.
I know we do.
You do?
Yes, we do. Girl, don't stop. You awaken affection.
I know.
That's really, it's Hunter's Talk, the awaken affection, right?
Absolutely. And the reason why, because we believe that affection can be awakened in any facet of your relationship. And actually, in a lot of our marriages, affection needs to be awakened in every way. So, you guys, after that introduction, let's get straight into it.
Let's get
Selfish spouse, are you one? So, let's first define selfishness. Take it away, Pastor Hunter.
Selfish, devoted to or caring only for oneself. That's one.
That's the first definition.
What's the second definition? Go ahead.
Concerned.
Concerned primarily with one's own interests, benefits, welfare, etc., regardless of others.
And number 3, selfish motives. Selfish motives. Now, as Pastor Allen and I were talking about this topic, we got on number 2, which is concerned primarily. Hear me, guys. As spouses, we can't afford to be primarily concerned with ourselves. We can't afford that. Because what it does is it sets a tone for the relationship that's all about me. And that I'm always the one of more importance. So I think that this selfish spouse topic is a very timely one. We need it. With infidelity, it has always been a challenge in marriages, but at an all-time high being played out in the media right now, I think this topic of selfish spouses is absolutely needed. So let's get right into it. Come on, Pastor Hunter.
Okay, so is selfishness a deal breaker for you?
God. It is. I have to be honest. It is a deal breaker.
That sounds selfish to me.
Well, it is. I'll be honest with you. Is selfishness a deal breaker in a marriage? Deal breaker mean, could it cause your marriage to fracture, to dissolve? Could it challenge it? And yes, it could. And in that way, it could for me. And I think that because there's too much sharing that needs to happen within two people, within a set of walls, to make sure that everything is pleasant and joyful and full of love, there's no room for selfishness. Or is there? So we'll ask that. So is selfishness a deal breaker for you?
It depends on the degree.
Okay.
It depends to what degree.
That's good.
What degree of selfishness do they have? Do you have?
Okay,
Let's
so
talk about you.
okay, let's
and
talk
me.
about me. Let's talk about us. Okay, so talk to me. What degree of selfishness? What do you mean by that? First of all, tell the audience what you mean by that. When you say to what degree, to what extent, how much, how far?
But, I mean, excuse me. I got to sneeze. All this cornmeal over here. I mean, somebody's always got to make it about them.
Mm-hmm.
It's not about you.
Right.
See, if you was the type of woman, a woman that was always about you and not me, we couldn't be.
Okay.
Cause I want some shine too.
Okay.
If you always have to have the shine, then it's a deal breaker because you're selfish.
Okay.
I want some light too. Don't you want some light? I want light. I don't mind sharing some of the light, but give me some. It's not about you.
So when he says to what degree, he's saying he's fine with everything that comes with you. However, he wants you to be able to share. That's what you're saying, right?
Yeah, share.
Be able to share.
Sharing is caring.
Well, I will say definitely for me, to what degree it becomes selfishness when there's no way to talk to you about it. Listen, spouses, this is so important. I want you to really, please, please, please hear me. To what degree you allow your relationship to be open will be the degree in which you can communicate. Okay? So if you don't allow for your relationship to be open, then there's no communication. There's no communication. I finally understand now why a lot of men are intimidated by women that sometimes seem stronger, more educated, more affluent, has more money. And it's not necessarily because the woman makes it that way. It's an intimidation on the man's factor. Okay, now vice versa. While some men want to be the breadwinner, wants to be the one that asserts all of the, the financial stability, wants to be in control over the home, it's because they have a certain control over how it flows. They have a certain way they want things done.
That's good.
Okay?
That's good.
So now, listen, guys. There's nothing wrong with you running your home the way you want to, as long as God is first. Right. And remember that when it comes to selfishness, there's truly no one else that can come into your bubble, right?
Okay.
But you, because you are the bubble.
That sounds selfish to me.
That sounds selfish, right? So if you want everyone else to get pleasure from you, then you have to be able to share parts of you. So when we talk about to what degree selfishness is acceptable, let's talk about some corners that selfishness tends to show itself in. Why don't you help us with that?
Okay, pointer 1, bedroom.
Next pointer?
Money. Career.
Yes.
3. Communication.
Yes.
And TLC.
What does TLC mean?
Day-to-day care of your spouse.
There you go.
Some folks say tending, loving care. That's an everyday thing.
Yes, it is.
A lot of people don't want to love or tend to somebody that they're supposed to love every day.
Correct.
That's selfish.
It is selfish.
When I was sick for 2 weeks, this woman was at the hospital every day until I told her to go home. I said, go home. Go lay in bed. Get away from me. Not just play. I said, go home. Because you've been up here every day. Now, that's a sign of what? Not being selfish.
Correct.
Although I like her attention, but I still want her to go home and get some rest because it's hard to get rest at a hospital. It's just, hey, quiet all that down. The chef over here cooking and making a lot of noise, and that distracted me. That's selfish, wasn't it? I don't care. It's my show, my house. And some of y'all,
the male ego.
And some of us are like that. It's mine. This is my
That's
house.
good,
This is my place. This is my car. This is my water. And you try to control someone with what you have. That's selfish.
It is.
It's not yours.
That's right.
To be honest with you, it's really not.
Not when you're in a
It's
marriage.
like, although I married her, she's really not mine. She belongs to God. And that's why the Bible says to treat your woman with the ultimate respect as you would treat the church. And that's why a lot of relationships are messed up because you don't even treat the church right.
That's good.
And somebody should say, if you ain't treating the church right, you ain't going to treat your wife right.
That's
Pastors, if you ain't treating your church people right, you're not going to treat your relationship right. That's why you got so many divorces going on in the church, because the pastor is not treating the church people right. The church are people. It's not a building. When you say, okay, I'm getting off the points, but my point I'm making is she doesn't belong to me, so I have to treat her right. So for 2 weeks, I mean I can't expect her to be up there every day, sleep with me every day. So my thing is, hey, go home, get you some rest, come back and see me.
Right.
All right. So and that's what she did, but she was respectful enough because she loves me, because she's not selfish. She could have told me, nigga, I ain't staying up there with you every day. I'm going to sleep in the bed. I'm not going to do nothing for you. I'm not going to feed you. I'm not going to rub your back. Let them do it. That's what you're up there for. But no, she said, hey, I got you. Let me take care of you, even though you're in the hospital. That's Arthur J.W.
And, you know, it's so funny because a lot of the nurses thought I was
getting
getting...
a shout out.
Thank you, babe.
Give me a kiss.
But a lot of the nurses got kind of, you know, as a wife, you kind of get in the way. Because, you know, with nurses, they automatically think, hey, they're there to do a job. But my thing is I'm his wife and I'm there to do the job. So if there's going to be any bathing, there's going to be any feeding, then I feel like as his wife, I should do it. So listen, are you a selfish spouse? Can you not handle the day-to-day care of your spouse? Taking care of them if they get sick? Not wanting to make sure their clothes are together. Listen, spouses, I told Pastor Allen when I got married to him, I said, hey, I'm not a big ironer, but I will make sure that all your stuff gets in the cleaners.
Boy, she ain't.
Okay?
She not no ironer.
Yes. Not that I don't know how, I don't like it.
No,
so what
shit,
I've decided to do is that I make sure on a cycle, when we're able to, that I take his clothes into the cleaner, so that way I always make sure his clothes are together and ready for him, because I know he likes to look a certain way.
Right.
Listen, spouses, we can't get in that attitude where we say, hey, it doesn't matter how you look to me. It doesn't matter what your appearance is, because remember, they represent you and you represent them. So don't get that selfish attitude, and it's so closed-minded, because what it says is I only care enough to care about how I look and not care enough to care about him. If you care about the way your children look, then you care the way your husband looks. Even from grooming. Normally, Pastor Allen has been in the hospital. We've been a little busy with other things, so he has been able to get a haircut, but normally that wouldn't be the case, right? But while even in this state, I can make sure it's combed, right? We can make sure it looks a certain way, make sure his face is washed, right?
Wow,
so those kinds of things. So TLC, the day-to-day care of your spouse. And then the last thing under TLC, we have notes here.
Nobody, who really wants to do that? I mean, you really have to love somebody to really take care of them like that on a day-to-day basis.
Well,
you
then,
said, let me comb your hair for you. You know, some people say, you comb your own hair. It's yours.
Right.
It's not mine.
Right.
That's your hair. It's on your face.
Right.
You comb it.
Right.
But because you do want to take the time out to comb it and brush it, and it looks good. You know why? Because when I step out of here, it represents you.
That's right. And you know what I would say to someone who didn't want to do that? Do you really understand what it is to be married?
Right.
Because it means that you have to selfishly give of yourself. And then the last point, buying their likes from the store. Listen, whether I'm mad at Pastor Allen or not, I went to the store today. I got what I know he likes, right? Because I want him to smile every time I walk in the door. Listen, that's the way you awaken affection.
Yeah, but sometimes you have to be careful with that too.
Yes.
Because if you always do that and you don't do that one particular time, that spouse may be like, what's up? You always buy me this.
Mm-hmm.
You always buy me that. Why not buy today?
Then that's a selfish attitude.
Ooh.
So I should always be happy when you walk through the door, just because God brought you home to me.
Regardless if I have something in my hand or not for you.
Right.
Now that's not being selfish.
Correct.
Don't get pissed off because your spouse didn't bring you no shoes home from out of town. Or whatever the case may be, don't. Maybe he just didn't have the money. Or didn't have the time to go get it.
Right.
He or she.
Right.
Don't base your relationship on things. That's what I'm saying.
That's good, babe.
Don't base it on things, because it's not going to last.
That's right.
Right.
So let's go to communication. How can you be selfish in communication? We'll go through this really quickly. Once you want your voice to be the only voice that is heard. Let me say it again. You want your voice to be the only voice that is heard. Listen, you can't understand anything talking all the time. If I'm going to understand, then I need to listen.
That's why God gave you 2 ears,
And
1 mouth. That means listen more, talk less.
Correct.
But we like to talk a lot, even in prayer time. Lord, blah, 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 blah. And then then Lord said, oh, man, finally I got a chance to say something to you. I'm glad you choked. So I can say something because you're talking too much. Prayer is not always you talking and asking God for something. Prayer is when you sit down, be quiet, Lord, I'm here, speak to me.
That's right.
I have 2, God gave us 2 ears, 1, 2, 1 mouth, 1, 2, 1 lips, 1 set of lips. Listen more. It's better to listen than to always be talking. Because when you listen, you can learn. You can learn. Trust me, I used to be a talker too. I know I'm probably talking too much right now. But when you learn to listen, you learn to learn about somebody when they're talking to you.
That's right. And that's what it's about. It's about you giving an opportunity for someone else's perspective to be heard. That's the second point. When you know that you're selfish in your communication, when you're not willing to genuinely hear your spouse's perspective. Listen, we can't all be right all the time. It's not possible. Listen, I'm not right all the time. Smart chick, not right all the time. Amazing man, not right all the time. There's going to be situations, thank you, Holy Spirit, hear me, that you're going to be right for point 1, but you're wrong for point 2. Doesn't mean you're wrong in the whole thing.
God, that was good.
Come on.
Say it again.
Yeah. You may be right for point 1, but be wrong in point 2.
Well, give me a kiss for that one.
So you can't always anticipate that you're right in totality about a situation. Give your spouse an opportunity to say, hey, do you agree with point 1? Okay, so we can move on from that. So what about point 2? No, babe, that don't sound right to me. Give room for that person to talk that way to you.
That's
you
good.
know, really break it down, because I say this in my book, Hope Exposed. We often tend to group everything in relationships together, and we don't listen effectively. And you know what it does? It harms us.
Yes.
And then we miscommunicate. Well, you said this and you said that. Well, what if he really agreed with point 1, but because point 2 and 3 he didn't agree with, now all the points are wrong. Wrong communication. Red light, that's not what he said. He said he didn't agree with point 2 and 3. So listen effectively so that you can get the perspective out. Okay, babe, you cover careers.
I can't come behind that.
Come on, babe, you can do this.
Shoot. Man. Careers. How can you be selfish in careers? Lack of support. Example, she's an author, motivational speaker. I am a pastor, producer. I support everything she does. There are times I put myself aside to make sure she gets what she needs. Okay, because that's not, I don't want to be selfish. Now, sometimes people are not like that. Well, I'm a producer, I'm a pastor, it's all about me. Write a book about me. Well, babe, I got to go over here. Well, I got to go over here. Now, what if sometimes we do have engagements on the same day. This
happened.
This is what I try to do. I try to get it where I can leave a little early to come support. Now, I don't be like, man, look, okay, you go over there, I'm going to go over here, do what you do, I'm going to do what I'm going to do. That can form jealousy.
That's good.
So sometimes people will be jealous about, she's great at what she does. She's a good speaker, as you can see. I think she speaks better than me. I'm not jealous about it, because at the end of the day, when she get paid for speaking, I'm going to get some of that money there. And for real, you got to look at it like that. If your spouse is better than you and she's bringing home the money, cool. It's all going in the same spot, in the pot.
Right.
Don't be jealous of her or him. Y'all money is together. See, that's the problem right there. A lot of times, I know we're skipping, but we're talking about it. A lot of couples have their own bank accounts. I think, to me personally, that's selfish. I think you should have it together, especially when you're building an empire together. Don't have separate accounts. be responsible, and be selfless to say, hey, you know what? I got this in the bank. I took this out for this. But before you can do that, hey, babe, is it okay if I can take this money out the pot so I can do this and do that?
That's right.
Now, it takes a big person to do that. It takes a selfless person to do that.
And an humble person.
And humble.
And what about the last one, babe? Sabotage.
Oh, man. Sabotage.
Yeah. You know you're a selfish spouse when you contemplate sabotage. And let me tell you, sabotage, when you don't support, when you're jealous, that's sabotage. Mm-hmm. Hear me, you guys. That's sabotage.
It is.
Because emotionally, you abandon that person. You abandon them. And when you emotionally abandon them, it psychologically messes with that person.
Because people need and want support from their spouse.
That's right.
You know?
I'm his number one cheerleader.
Yep.
Number one. If there's an A-flat track, I'm number one. I tell him it sucks here behind closed doors because this is our sanctuary. We hammer those details out at this table. But when he goes out there, it's great. It's wonderful.
Rarely does she have to say it sucks because I'm good like
That's
that.
right. But I have had to tell him that sucks. But he's had to tell me something. But he has had to tell me certain things suck, right? So okay, so it goes both ways. So that's the give and take in our relationship. So let's quickly go to money. Since you started it, go ahead.
Money.
You started about the separate bank accounts because I know we're gonna have one bank account together and then separate bank accounts. Remember, we said for buying each other gifts and things like that.
Well, okay, that's cool. I mean, if you want to have a separate bank account to splurge on your spouse, that's cool. But to have a joint bank account to take care of bills, or even have an account that says this is only bill money, and the money I bring in from a gig or from a project, I'm going to use a percentage of that money to keep for myself so I can do some things, watch this, for her. What I want to do. Okay? Not what I want to do and buy for me, but what I want to do for me, for her. Because to see her happy makes me happy. To be able to buy something that she likes or have been asking for makes me happy to be able to buy it. And I like doing it as a surprise. I don't want her to always know because she's cheap. I'm expensive.
Yes.
She's a cheap one.
Yes, I am.
So like, if I want to spend $20,000 on a ring, and she's like, "It's too much money on a ring." Just give me an example. I want to be able to say, "Hey, well, look, here's your ring," because I want her to have it because it's expensive and it looks good, and I think it look good on her, and I want that finger weighted down.
Right.
Well, she may say, "Hey, we can go over here and get the same ring for
$5,000."
$5,000. I'm like, okay, but because she knows what I'm doing, I had to kind of, what's the word I want to use?
Maneuver that a bit.
Maneuver that a little bit. But if I put in my account for her, I ain't gotta tell her nothing.
Right.
Just go do it.
Right.
But see, you got to be selfless to do that, not selfish.
Your heart is for me, and what that means is that you're thinking about me. I'm on your mind.
Yeah.
So an account together, like he said, so we can do the bills, and then the money that's left over really should be split among the two. And then the other thing with money, you're selfish if you're not wanting to spend the money on the one that you're with. if you don't want to spend your money on your spouse, that's a problem there. Disconnect. Why not? Why is that? Ask yourself. Because a marriage is not all about money, but let me tell you, a big part of it is making sure financially that they're taken care of.
Yes.
Is that health, mental, emotional, physical? It's a way of making sure they're supported. Not just that, ensuring that they have money on them. I was big with that with Pastor Allen. He would give me all his money sometimes, and I'd be like, no, keep $20. Yeah, I'll be like, keep $20 on you. Keep $50 on you. I would be very considerate of that because if anything happened, I can't get to him, then he needs to at least be able to catch a cab, make a phone call, get a burger, french fries, something until I can come and help.
Don't need no more burgers.
That's for sure. Neither one of us. But, neither one of us.
Everybody dropped everything right there when you said.
Neither one.
You sure didn't. What?
But neither one of us,
That's being selfish. to say that I don't need no more burgers.
Well, it's true. And the reason being is because we got a report from the doctor that said we have to lose weight. So let's roll our eyes, babe. Because guess what? It's true. We both got to lose this weight.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the number one, the bedroom, and we'll sum it up real quick. Hey, you guys, you know your selfish spouse in the bedroom when you want your way and having sex all the time. When you just want it your position, your style, your way, you're selfish.
That's true. That's true. It needs to be fun. Whatever way she likes it, find it out. Find a way how to do it if you can't do it.
Right?
I don't care about your size. Find a way. Just find it. I'm trying to be cool because I don't know who's watching. And I still am pastor, so I got to be everything. Got to be kind of somewhat discreet.
Yeah. I'll say it and I'll set it up.
Okay.
You know you're a selfish spouse when you want to be relieved and satisfied. So you want to release. You're fine with you releasing, but your spouse doesn't get released.
That is selfish.
That's selfish.
I got mine.
Yeah.
What about me?
Yeah.
We took too long.
That's selfish.
That is selfish.
You should make sure that you both are pleasured by the time you leave that bedroom.
That's right.
And never ask your... Well, you're selfish when you never ask your spouse, hey, was it good? You should ask them.
I disagree with that.
Okay. Let's talk about it.
I disagree with that.
Okay.
You shouldn't always have to ask, was it good? Watch this. Because if you're not selfish, you know what to do because you're so attentive to your spouse.
Good one, babe. Good save.
Boom. Look, I'm attentive to this woman. So I'll ask her before we even get to the bedroom, what do you like? What do you want me to do to you?
Yes, he will ask that. That's funny. Yes, but he will ask that.
And I may not do it till the week afterwards. But the thing is, I'm building up my arsenal.
That's good, babe.
Thank you. I'm building it up. So every time we do it, I have something that she's told me in the past what she likes.
That's good.
That's
babe.
why it's always exciting.
That's right.
Because I'm not selfish.
Right.
I'm selfless.
In the bedroom.
Because I want her to get hers too.
Right.
Because it makes it better when she gets hers and I get mine. Especially if we get at the same time.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
It makes it amazing.
It makes it amazing.
And it builds the relationship.
Fireworks actually happen.
That's right. And it builds the relationship even more. Alan, if you ask me right now, just real quick, we got 2 minutes before we're out. Is Alan a selfish spouse?
Go on, be honest.
Yes.
I
But let me tell you in what way. When we talked about TLC and day-to-day care, if this man could have me rub his belly or his back or his head all day, he would.
I would.
I could be in pain, doubled over. Now he
I don't care. Rub me.
He wants me to rub him. So
I'm in pain.
So he's like that. But like we talked about earlier, to what degree? To what degree? And does it cloud me and my needs? Sometimes if he's getting a little selfish, and this is the last question, can selfishness be helped? I think it can, with effective communication and saying it the right way. Mm-hmm. And Pastor Allen was being a bit some way. And I said, hey, babe, I need you to come on. And you know what? He received it. He said, you're right. He didn't fight me on it, but he said, you're right. So I think that communication, honesty, is going to be your go-tos, and really understanding what that other person is saying.
And be open
to hear it.
To hear it. That's selflessness. That's selflessness.
That's correct, baby.
If you're selfish, you're not going to hear it.
Right.
You're not going to hear what your spouse is saying. You'll be like, okay, and don't be like that.
Right.
Be selfless and say, okay, watch this. Be overly selflessness, when you can say, hey, what do I need to do to make you feel better?
Right. Keep in mind, this is a two-way street. Travel down this road on bumps, or you want smooth asphalt. It's up to you. Okay? So just understand that there's another car driving down that street.
Right, and I want a smooth asphalt.
That's something wrong with him.
Pray for me.
Pray for him.
Pray for me.
Well, you guys, we've enjoyed talking to you about being a selfish spouse. Are you one? I am Jay, and this is Pastor Allen.
Pastor A.K. Hunter.
A.K. Hunter.
Hit us up on Facebook.
At The Hunters Talk.
At The Hunters Talk. The Hunters Talk, Twitter, IG.
Periscope.
And here on YouTube. Subscribe. Yes. Hit her up on Facebook on Author JW, Twitter, and all the other social sites. She has an amazing book coming out called
Death of My Inner Beauty.
Death of My Inner Beauty. It's phenomenal.
Yes. He calls it a Christian erotica.
It is.
Okay.
She's going to have the best #1 seller. 2017. The Prophet Prophesied.
It's going to be great.
It's going to be great. 2017.
And then we have A Flat Music. Check him out on his business page on Facebook. Yeah. He has some amazing music that's going to be coming out. Some artists that are going to hopefully be singing and sampling his music. So we're super excited for an amazing 2017. So you guys, thank you so much for joining us. Yes.
Dominion and Power Ministry on Facebook, and Pastor A.K. Hunter on Facebook. All we do is we supply encouraging words for you online. It's our online ministry. And 2017, we will be launching Dominion and Power Tabernacle, us as being the pastors. And listen, when it happens, we're going to invite you. We'd love for you to come. It will be on Saturday morning. So you can still go to your other church.
On Sundays
that you say that you don't like. But you go there, you go there out of tradition.
Right.
Okay.
So we pray that this is going to be a different experience.
Yes.
And we thank you guys for tuning in to the Hunters Talk right now. Yes. And so we want to pray for the people. You want to pray?
I prayed last time.
No, I prayed last time.
You prayed last time?
Okay, you want to pray?
Yeah, let's pray.
Okay, go ahead.
Lord, we thank you for this evening. We thank you for this great broadcast. We pray and trust, Lord, that people that are looking, watching, are being affected by the message that you've given us and that we're giving them. Lord, let them receive it. And Father, let them be able to explain it to other people. Let them be effective, Father. And we thank you. We thank you for the love that you've given us, the love that you